Go for it.
Welcome to Talking Pools with Kelli and Dan.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
So, Dan, you said that you were at work late today.
Yeah, it was one of those days. This week has actually been just a rough one. Issues on all kinds of different levels that occasionally we have to put in extra hours, and tonight was one of those. So, but tomorrow will be another day, and the sun will come up, and we'll start all over, and just take a deep breath and plug on.
Yeah, I know. Monday and Tuesday were kind of rough for me. Actually, I even worked on Sunday, which usually is my hardcore not working.
Yeah.
But since I was flying out to Texas, where I'm at now in Houston, let me just tell you, me and humidity don't mix. And as soon as I got off the flight, I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe.
Yeah. You know, our wonderful Chicago weather. So yesterday it was like 86 and humid and hot. Like, you know, it one of those days that it feels like it's 100 even though it's not. And then today I think our high was like 62. It's like this.
Well, what, 2 weeks ago we had 115, and then this week at home it was raining.
Yeah.
Like pouring rain for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then I come here and it's 100 and something degrees with humidity.
Right. Welcome to Texas.
Yeah.
So I saw you were at the Johnson Space Center today, or was that today you were there?
Yeah, it was so much fun. I took my nephew. He got to ditch school for the day.
Cool.
He's 6 years old, and so he went with me, and it was a lot of fun. We got to see like the test area where they put the astronauts into these big, huge white contraptions so they can feel like they're in space and get used to it and train. Got to see some of the testing things they have for their upcoming missions to the moon.
Cool.
And
That's really, really cool. You know, do they have a space shuttle there, right? Do they? Or am I thinking wrong?
Yeah. No, they do. It's a mock one, but the plane that it flies on is the real thing.
Oh, okay. And the 747 that they launched them from to test, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then what else? We saw rockets. Now, if you follow me on social media, you'll see these things are massive, like a whole football field, if not more. And so it was really cool to see it. And like when I take pictures of him in front of it, you could see like he's like a little ant, and the rocket is like me.
Yeah. Our son just graduated in May. I may have said this before, from University of Alabama in Huntsville. And Huntsville is Rocket City. It's the home to U.S. Space and Rocket Center. And they they're refurbishing it now in a multi-year thing, but they had I'm trying to think of, Pathfinder, the space shuttle Pathfinder, which it never flew. It was a mock-up that they built just to make sure it would clear roadways and things like that as they're transporting it from here to there and all that kind of stuff. So, but they got that put there, and it sits, well, when it was in place, it's down now being refurbished, like I said, but it sits on top of actual boosters. I think they're actual boosters that launch the thing up into space, and
Yeah.
pull up in the next to this thing and look at how big like you're saying, the rockets, just how big they are. It's amazing. And they strap 2 or 3 people on the nose of those things and say, light the fuse, let's go. Not me. It'd be cool in a like a Star Trek or Star Wars kind of thing. Put me on the Millennium Falcon and let me go in a hyperdrive, and I'm all for that. But strapping me on the top of one of those things is a little bit daunting.
Yeah, but yeah, over the weekend and then earlier this week, I was trying to get everything done that I needed to before I left. It didn't help. We had those storms, so like my startups, not all of them, but the ones where they have a lot of construction going on in their yard, the landscaping, tore them up. Like
Yeah.
one pool has probably a good inch of dirt in it.
Mm.
The other one, it was like a hazy green, but I was able to clear that pretty fast. But it's like, and then the customers are like, well, what's wrong with my pool? And I'm like, well, you see your yard? It fell in the pool. And
Yeah.
this is also the first rain we've had in a really long time. And we've had a fire, like I told you. So I'm like, everything in the air has fallen in your pool. And that just, I was out on Tuesday until 8 o'clock, which
Yeah.
is really late for me.
Sure.
Now, one thing that was really weird is my phone goes off all day long. And yesterday, as I'm traveling, I had maybe 1 or 2 calls. And then today I had like nothing. My phone died. So I had to put it on the charger. I turn it back on, and oh my God, that thing just lit up with text messages from
Oh,
people.
jeez.
And I'm just like, oh my God. Now it's like, hey, the person who you're going to have come help me today didn't come. When's this other person coming? And it's like, oh my gosh. Or this isn't working. Can you come out? It's like, I'm in Houston. There's no way I can come out. But hey, what about video chat? I struggle with ignoring people when I'm on vacation. I even have a separate phone number with a separate voicemail.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard when it's your business. It's your passion, and to try to turn it off. I can't remember the last vacation I had that I wasn't still connected to everything.
Yeah.
And we're going to try real hard. We're going to be actually heading down to Riviera Maya in a little over a week, for a week, with some friends, and I hope to be able to disconnect the good portion of the week that we're down there. But it's hard. You want to make sure things are still going right, and for you. So while you're gone, you have a network of people to help you take care of things while you're out of town, or how do you handle that?
When it comes to, so luckily I don't have a route, so that
Right.
helps.
Right.
When it comes to my startups, most of the time I communicate with my plaster companies and my builders. Hey, I'm going to be out of town this duration of time, and we will plan around that. Now, if there are startups that I got calls for today. They're like, hey, we'll be plastered on Friday. Can you come out? They recommended you to come out, and it's like, sorry, I'm not back till Sunday. And so obviously I have to pass those up, which is kind of hard for me too.
Yeah.
But I have one builder that I let her know when my vacations are, and she plasters around my vacation time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Shows how in demand, I guess is the right word, you are. Like that people will rearrange their schedule, their routines to make sure that they get the top gal in there to take care of those startups. That's great.
Yeah, so that really I luck out in that aspect. And like the other companies, they mainly, what they do is they just give a list. Here, call one of these people. Unless I do have one plaster company that will specifically recommend me, especially to women.
Oh, okay.
Because women are more comfortable with another woman there. They also know I'm very like detail oriented. So sometimes when it's a little bit more of a higher maintenance customer, but yeah, I'm gonna miss those couple that called this week, but they'll send me more later. And
Yeah.
so, but
it's funny you say that women more detail oriented. I've found through the years that tends to be the case so often that I know in recent episodes I talked about a woman who worked for us named Frankie, who
yeah,
was extremely detail oriented. And they're obviously in a company like we've got all kinds of different positions and men and women both that are doing different things. But I love having women out in the field doing maintenance, doing service, doing technical stuff. I don't know what it is, and this is my wife as well. If she didn't keep me on task and keep the lists for me and make sure that I was doing everything I was supposed to, I don't know.
Place your ad here and launch your product with the Talking Pools podcast. For information on sponsoring the Tuesdays with Kelli and Dan show, contact us at talkingpools@gmail.com.
It's interesting. I think it's an area that certainly the industry is grasping more and more. The
Yes.
acceptance, certainly in our Talking Pools group, we've got, three of the most fantastic women, I say, in the country as part of our team, right? And no,
Yeah.
I don't mean Rudy, for those that just went that way. But you and Heather and Andrea, it's just you're a great representation of all that that women are in our industry, and hopefully a lot of those that are just starting out or maybe even considering this as an industry that they want to jump into will look at you and others like you and say, hey, this is a thing I can do. It's not just a typical male driven environment. So
Well, I found that it works great for women, especially new moms or single moms, because it is a great income that you can make once you get established. It's something that your business can grow quite quickly if you're in the right areas. And I'm still able to make it to doctor's appointments for my kids, or next Tuesday, unfortunately, I have to have a meeting with the principal, not because of my son. And I'm able to be like, okay, what time? I'll be there. Stuff like that. Even with Max's schedule, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I have to drop him off and pick him up. And he goes to school at 8:55 and gets out at 3:20, which gives me 4 hours to work. Yeah. But this industry gives that option, and not all men understand that, because I get a lot of crap from them. Sometimes they're like, "You don't start work till 10." Well, I have no choice.
Yeah, and I've been a dream of mine, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to accomplish it. We have some single moms that are working for us, and when things happen, kids get sick or need to go to the doctor or dentist or all that, we're extremely flexible with everybody. But they all know that. In fact, our service office manager, a woman who's named Melanie, she tomorrow morning has to take her daughter to, I think it was a dentist appointment, and she's got some other things going on in the afternoon, so she's going to work around that. She, being in an office position, she has the ability of doing some stuff remote, so she'll kind of do that as she can, and keep things moving along for the day from wherever she is. But we try to be flexible to meet those needs. But I would love, and it probably, like I said, it'll never happen, but I think it would be so cool if we had our own daycare facility.
Yeah.
That the moms and dads can, if it's all about opportunity and some of those benefits and things like that. that finding quality people isn't real easy for anyone right now.
Yeah.
And the more that we can do to help people that way by being flexible, letting them go when they need to whether it's kids or whatever, to take care of them. If they're good at what they're doing, they're getting the job done. It's real easy to say, you know what, take what you need, because I know you're going to pick up and make up for it and all the rest of it. So I don't know. I would love to have a whole bunch of women in the Chicago area looking to work in pools call me tomorrow.
That would be nice if they know because I'll tell you, childcare is probably one of the hardest things. It's very expensive. It costs more than my rent. Right. And the hours are limited, and usually when I find someone and I like them, they only last for so long. And I'm the type of person, you tell me the price, I'll pay you. But kids aren't easy. I come from an education background working with autistic kids and working in preschools and elementary schools, and it can get tiring when those little guys don't want to cooperate.
Yeah. Our sales manager, Steve is his name. He's got a little boy, and his wife is a school teacher, and there are often times that he'll stay at home with Thomas, and if Thomas can't go to daycare because he's woke up with a cold or whatnot, and or he'll run him to the doctor, because we're more flexible than his wife is able to be with teaching and at the school. So I think the more that people are flexible with stuff like that, the easier it is to attract and hopefully retain employees for those of us that have employees out there.
Well, it's nice to hear that there are companies out there that actually care, because I hear a lot of them, and I get it. They're having trouble finding people too, and they have so much work that needs to be covered, but you still got to have a little bit of reasonable flexibility. So, and I will say it's pretty incredible in the almost 2 years? 1, 2? Oh, we're almost going our 3rd year with the women's group that I help with. And it's amazing to see the response we've gotten from the industry. People being very receptive to it and encouraging it, and not bashing what we're doing. And, I get this couple that's sexist. We can't have an all guys club, but you can have a women's club. And I was just like, well, you kind of already do, but whatever. Yeah. Or if I wear a wig and a dress, can I come to your trainings? And it's like, oh, okay. But
today that's really not that far-fetched, is it?
Yeah, that is true. Right. Hey, when he said that, I was like, what does your ID say? Now that you can change that on the ID to identify how you feel, that is the qualification.
So after a few more years of you working with the Pool Girl Pro, sorry, tongue tied there, group, we'll have you have to start like the Pool Tree Pro group or something for those who identify as trees.
Well, I guess so. I just hope we don't get a bunch of pool guys that are tree lovers and telling us, don't cut the trees. Can't cut the trees around the yard.
Yeah. So, but that's actually part of why you're in Texas, right? I mean, I know you're visiting family, right? But the main reason for you going down there is because of your Pool Girl Pro.
Yep. To meet more women in our industry, talk with them, see what their challenges are and what their successes are, and how we can grow the group to help even more women as much as possible.
That's very, very cool. So that's tomorrow is when you guys are getting together?
Yes, tomorrow.
Friday.
Tomorrow and Saturday.
by tomorrow, I know everyone is listening to this on Tuesday, but we're referring to tomorrow as being last, what is Friday, the 23rd, right, of September?
Yeah.
So by the time everyone hears this, it will have already happened, and we'll probably have a podcast that touches on a recap of it, right?
Yeah, and we had a lot of women saying they wanted to do it that were in Florida, so there's going to be something in Florida soon. Just have to figure out what and how and where and all that. But I just love that we're getting to other places than just where I live.
That's fantastic. That is really, really cool. I love that. So pretty soon you're going to be, at home working on pools like a couple of weeks out of the month, and the rest of the time you're going to be, so Texas
That would
today,
be nice.
then Florida. You'll probably have to head up to the Northeast at some point, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we are considering turning it into a nonprofit, and we would love to have a board that has a bunch of ladies that represent the different aspects of the industry. And grow it from there. Thanks to LinkedIn, I've met a lady that works for Leslie's who has his background of making nonprofit organizations in male-driven industries.
Oh, wow.
And so she's going to help us with that as well.
That's amazing. You know what? I am all behind you on that. Whatever we can help with, I'm there for you.
Kelli and Dan will be back next Tuesday with part 2 of Women in the Pool Industry.